somewhere I've never been before. Oh shit, where's it?
This ought to be interesting.
Let's see where it takes us. Turning right. Let's see.
Well, that's good.
Wonder where it's going to take us. Like, how? It has to be just places we've never been in. Like, where's it
Headed toward Mooresville.
Yeah. I've been to Mooresville. Where's it going?
And that narrows it down. There's so many places off this exit. Been to most of them, though. About just about any eating restaurant around here.
Says we're pulling in.
Oh. I guess you've never been there before.
Me?
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hello. What's going on?
Well, hello.
Oh, hey, everyone. Welcome to Sunset Rants. I'm Brian, your alleged producer around here. I'm sitting in for Taylor, who is doing that college thing. He is in the middle of finals. Hopefully, he'll be back next week, ready to go. And, fair enough. He's younger. He's better looking than I am, so... I get it, What's going on, Dee?
Not much, buddy. Just, making it today. Surviving.
Yeah, this has been a weird week. It's been kind of a slow news week. It's like, I put these together every night, and it's the same thing over and over again, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting I'm getting tired of talking about the Pope. I'm ready for them to just go ahead and bury the guy, pick the next dude. Let's move on. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. It has been a relatively slow news week, and yes, the Pope has flooded. Like, I know it's flooded my Twitter feed. Kind of over it too. There's only so much you could say about the guy. But I bet you anything that we're gonna make it fun. So even if we gotta talk about it again, we're gonna make it fun.
Well, we're gonna talk about it. So the next step apparently is the Papal Conclave. That's how they go about picking the next guy, and my retarded AI assistant says this is the best source to go to talk about it. So here we go from Wikipedia. The Papal Conclave is expected to convene in May of 2025, so next week. I'm pretty sure they want to go ahead and get the funeral rites, all that stuff out of the way before they start the business of picking the successor. But the new Pope to succeed Francis, who died, he died the 21st. Expected to begin sometime between the 6th of May and the 11th, and 15 to 20 days. It'll be held in the Sistine Chapel. Catholic friends, if you know more about this, please feel free to chime in, because I'm not Catholic. I was raised Catholic, so I really don't understand most of this stuff. Let's see, papal election process. As the 2013 Papal Conclave, both the dean and the vice dean of the college cardinals are over the age of 80 and are not eligible to participate. Therefore, Pietro Parolin, a senior cardinal bishop under the age of 80, is expected to preside over the conclave. According to John Paul's 1996 Apostolic Constitution, that's Latin. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce that. As modified by Benedict the 16th, again, more Latin, I'm not going to try to pronounce. Electors generally have at least 15 days to see who becomes, after the see, which referring to, the domain of the Pope, becomes vacant to convene. The cardinals have the discretion to start the conclave earlier if all those eligible to participate have arrived, or later if there's serious reasons for deferral, but no later than 10 days after the see. You might be asking yourself, who are the cardinals? These are senior bishops that have been appointed by the Pope to serve as cardinals, and as cardinals, their main job is they are the electors of the next Pope. Other than that, they are Catholic bishops and archbishops that have their own, responsibilities or whatever over different dioceses of the Catholic Church. So that's who. Again, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I generally have an Oklahoma Baptist boys understanding of the Catholic Church and its hierarchy and how it works.
Oh, look at Vash's comment. So Vash says they're scared of the prophecy. The last pope is supposed to be named Peter. Out of the top 5 choices, 4 of the candidates' names are Peter. Ooh, what's the prophecy? The prophecy of the last pope? Like, that's interesting right there. I don't know what that is. Vash, you got to give us a little more info on that, homie.
Yeah. Let's see. A little more background. I would think here's kind of the source. This is the Vatican's official news site. Nice update. Cardinals hold third general congregation began conversation about church. So I guess before they get officially into electioning mode, they have different conferences and whatever, and they get together on that. Like I said, this is the Vatican's. Remember, the Vatican is a sovereign country. This is basically their state-run news channel that I've got. Oh, I don't have anything pulled up.
Oh.
Bad producer. Dang it. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this is basically just, the Vatican, the state of the Vatican's official, state news outlet.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know they had their own news. That's crazy.
One radio station. Yeah, the Vatican is its own country.
Yeah, no, I knew that part. I just didn't know, like, wow, they're I guess they're really put together.
Yeah. Check in on some of the X conversation about this right quick. This guy says it's blasphemous to say the Holy Spirit elects the Pope. That is not true. The Catholic Church has never taught that the Holy Spirit elects the Pope in the Papal Conclave. However, the Church teaches that the Holy Spirit makes himself available to the conclave to guide the cardinals if they're willing to listen to him. However, God does not rob the cardinals of their free will either. The cardinals are free to ignore the Holy Spirit and choose from their own men. Instead, a carnal man who do what he wants rather than what God wants. This has happened many times in history and could happen again this time. That's why Catholics are supposed to pray for the conclave. Okay. Let's see. Anywho, you have any thoughts about this? I mean, I should know more about you. Do you have
No,
a
I
Catholic
mean,
background or anything like that? Or
I grew up in an extremely Christian home. It was more like I guess Pentecostal. Um,
okay, okay,
but yeah, they were very like fire and brimstone, like everything is a sin. Like in The Water Boy. That's the devil.
okay.
Everything was the devil.
Who's boss the
Um,
devil?
yes, it's a so I don't know. From there, my father is Catholic, and I mean, I'll go to Catholic church with him. I find the atmosphere very serene. I like looking at the architecture, but I just try to be respectful.
Right.
Me personally, I don't follow a specified religion. I'm not a real fan of organized religion, but I do have Christian values. So, um, to me, this is very like insignificant. I understand, I respect the fact that it's significant to some people, but to me, as I was telling you before, I cannot look past the fact that the Roman Catholic Church and the Vatican protects pedophiles. Like, I have no respect for these people for that reason, because whenever there's been any kind of mass complaint, they just shove it under the rug and hide it, or they will take this problematic priest or whatever you want to call him and just transfer him to a parish, into a small town far, far away where nobody knows, where he just continues to do the same damn thing.
Right.
So, until they start punishing these people that are committing crimes and turning them over to the justice system, until they address it and actually do something about it, I have no respect for the Catholic Church and their organization, or whatever it is that they're called. So I could care less, to be honest with you. I hope that the next pope that they pick, since it's such a big figurehead and supposed to be such a huge role model, is actually not as divisive and kind of goes against Catholic values like this one did. Because I feel like this one kind of went against a lot of what the Catholic Church represents, and their viewpoints on a lot of things. So, if they wanted to be more progressive, I mean, they really can't. They're pretty set in stone on what they believe in. So having someone that's a figurehead going against that is just it's bad for them. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all I got on the matter. I mean, let's hurry up and get that thing going,
Well, of course, the betting sites have already weighed in. Here's the pot. Here's the pie market. Who's going to be the next pope?
Wow.
And right now, at this second, it's looking like who's this guy? Pietro Parolin. So, okay, here we go. See if we can find out a little bit more about. See if we can find out a little bit more about this guy, Pietro Parolin. Let's see. Just want to get the guy's name. What name? Come on, dang it.
Oh, okay, gosh, that Pietro is in Russia.
Okay, says he's the last pope. The prophecy is okay. Bash, I just want to counter this by it's pretty common practice, going all the way back to the Dark Ages, that when someone was elected pope, they dropped their birth name and they assumed a papal name, different from the name they were born with. I am aware that Pietro is Russian for Peter. So, anyway, and I'm breaking my own rule, getting into an argument with the kid. So, anywho, I guess we move on to the next story, which I apologize. This one, I don't know, the different algorithms and everything I used to search is really this segment's about Trump and tariffs and kind of the chaos they're causing in the market. So I'll just read through this until I get tired of reading through it. But this is from Investopedia, and this was published this morning. So obviously things have changed as of going live right now. U.S. stock futures are pointing lower as investors eye corporate earnings after a 2-day market rally. Google parent Alphabet is set to report highly anticipated quarterly results after its close. IBM shares are plunging pre-market trading as the CEO warns clients may take a wait-and-see approach. Tesla's EU sales shrink for a third straight month, and PepsiCo lowers its full-year profit outlook. Here's what investors need to know today. Now, I am not going to continue on because actually it's the end of the day. This article came out this morning. It's honestly irrelevant. Just from the sort, I kind of live online anymore, and just from the chatter I am seeing, what's left of the mainstream media is really trying to push a narrative that, I don't know if they're pushing a narrative or it's the reality that, Trump's, we're doing this on tariffs today. No, we're pulling back tomorrow. This inconsistent messaging from Trump's economic team is really kind of, at the end of the day, not very good. And I'm conservative enough to think, you know what? Probably not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Trump is a very good businessman. So whatever it is he's doing, I'm putting my trust in that. He knows what he's doing. Like, he has a pretty impressive success rate. So if he imposes a tariff on someone and then backs down and then imposes a tariff and backs down and whatever the hell he's doing, like, you do you. I think his heart is in improving America. And so, yeah, I have my full trust. I don't care if it's going up and down. I don't give a damn about the stock market, to be honest with you, because I don't have any stocks, so it really doesn't affect me. And I feel like a lot of people don't,
I've been hearing a lot of chatter from younger folks starting out, trying to get their families going, trying to get a home, trying to build a life. Mm-hmm. And I've heard 3 different people in that situation today saying they're hoping for a recession. They're hoping for a housing market bubble to burst so they can actually afford to buy a home.
Yeah.
And that really, hoping for a recession? You hope for a recession? I'm not so sure that's a wise thing to hope for, but I come from a different generation. I'm past that phase of my life, so maybe there's something to that.
I just don't think they understand what exactly they're saying, because if there's, so let's say there's a huge recession, right? And I'm not an economist, I'm not an expert, but just, thinking critically, that means that there's going to be less money. Okay, maybe you can have more paper money, but it's not going to be worth much. Again, like we saw with inflation, things are going to get more expensive, just like they have been. Like in all the 4 years that Biden was in office, were these people able to buy a house and we were in a recession? Like, they just don't understand. It doesn't click, right? So
Right.
what they're experiencing, and I saw a video of this the other day, this kid, and I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his wife, they were trying to buy a home. And they were looking and looking and
Right.
looking for months. They were looking. They finally found a home that they really liked. They put in an offer. They were waiting for everything to go through, and they get a phone call, and they tell them that someone came in and gave cash over their the price that was originally listed for the house, and they paid cash. So that home is not theirs anymore, and they're like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we can't find a home to even buy in the first place. And now someone swoops in, buys it for way over the market value so they could turn it into a rental property. And these are like BlackRock and stuff, these big
Yeah.
like mortgage companies that are just swooping in. They could buy the houses for cash. And I mean, clearly something needs to be
The
done to
same
help
thing
the
these
youth.
private equity companies are doing to businesses in distress. I mean, it's
Exactly. Something
yeah,
needs to be done for the youth. Like, the youth really does need to be able to catch up and be able to buy a home. Because really and truly, I mean, even when we do buy a home, it's not really ours, like
right.
it's not really ours, and so I feel that the younger generations do need a little bit of help to catch up. I don't think that we need to put it on a silver platter for them. Obviously, we don't want to um put them in a position where, like, Kamala wanted to give $25,000 to new homeowners, but that's not really going to help them. They need something to equalize the playing field so that it can make it easier for them to buy a home if they can afford to. If it's going to be an investment that they can afford. And I don't know how
I,
you fix
I,
that.
I wish I bookmarked it, but there was saw a story today about I'm pretty sure it was in Michigan where there was some kind of reparations bill passed where they
Mm,
would give African Americans at whatever criteria, give them something like $200,000 toward the purchase, toward the down, basically take care of the down payment on a home.
yeah,
I'm like, uh, so what's that going to do to the housing market?
yeah,
Uh, and and also, who's footing the bill for that cash? I mean, last I looked, Michigan's economy was in the toilet because all the manufacturing jobs and everything else had moved out of the state. So where's the tax base to pay for this kind of crap?
yeah. I just, I don't know. I don't feel like any of this stuff needs to be something financial. Like I said, I don't. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So it's that other saying too, that it's you can catch a fish for like someone and feed them for the day, or you could teach them how to fish and they could sustain themselves. I know I
Right.
butchered that, but you got the point. But
Yeah, I get the point.
but if they just give these kids money, they're not gonna have that value than if they work for it. But if they make it a little bit easier for people to qualify, or maybe some kind of program where new homeowners, there's homes available for new homeowners, like, maybe even put kind of like a pause on these private equity companies from buying up all the freaking houses. There has to be
Right.
something, because the BlackRock has its fingers in everything. So if you look at some of these
Yeah.
companies, this one guy did a video on it. It was really, really crazy, because you look at these big food companies, right? Like, for example, there's what is it, like Suave shampoo and all these other things are owned by food companies. They kind of market off each other without us knowing, right? The toothpaste industry is also part of the food industry where they make like
Right.
chips and soda and shit. So it's like, they're making money off us,
It's
our
all
tea product. It's all
interrelated.
interconnected. But
It's
then when you look even farther back, these companies are owned by these other sub companies and these other sub companies and these other, and it all leads back to like BlackRock. Like they own
yeah,
everything. Like there's like 5 companies that own every single industry and they're all interconnected. So and they have these almost like when you have these offshore like accounts that are to hide your money, they have these other little companies that they use to just kind of hide the fact that they own everything. So I just that needs to stop. That needs
yeah,
to stop because
for real.
Americans, like regular people, are never going to be able to catch up with that. So
Right.
yeah.
Moving on, seems like you take one step forward, take 2 steps back.
Mm-hmm.
Russian strike on Kiev kills at least 12 in biggest attack on Ukrainian capital since last summer. Russia pounded Kiev with hours-long barrage missiles and drones Thursday, killing at least 12 people in a deadly assault on the Ukrainian capital since July, and drawing a rare rebuke of Moscow from President Donald Trump just as peace efforts were coming to a head. I saw this. I'm going to go ahead and why did it open up another news story? I was hoping it opened up the damn tweet. Oh well. Anyway, moving on. The attack kept residents on the edge for 11 hours, with many staying awake all night with loud explosions reverberated around the capital city. Flashes of light punctuated the sky. Families gathered in public air raid shelters, some of them bringing cats and dogs. The strikes that began around 1 a.m. hit at least 5 neighborhoods and heavily damaged multiple residential neighborhoods. Around 90 people were wounded. I got to ask, what is Putin playing at doing this now, where it looks like, you kind of saw a light at the end of the tunnel? At least, both sides were like, well, okay, Mr. Trump, kind of, we're the horses, lead us to water. It seemed like, we were kind of had some deals working out. Now, all of a sudden, Putin pulls this shit.
Yeah.
WTF over.
Yeah, this kind of blew me away when I first saw a post about it on X, and I was just kind of like, what the hell? Because like just the day before it was like, oh, they finally made a peace arrangement, and this time it's gonna stick, and so I just don't know. I think they both want something that neither of them are willing to budge on, and
Yeah.
so in order to achieve peace, they both have to lose. Like neither of them gets what they want. And I just don't think either of them are willing to give up. It just it I don't know, especially on the brink of maybe ending this, and Putin goes ahead and escalates it. It's not a good thing.
It just gives more fuel to the fire to, honestly, this is my own leaning here. It gives more fuel to the fire to the neocons over here in the United States that have latched onto Zelensky as, their hero that's going to keep Raytheon and all the United States military industrial complex employed, ranking out, cranking out tow missiles and rounds for those M1 tanks that we sent over there and everything else. You know, it just gives more fuel to those guys' fire, honestly, to undermine Trump's efforts to actually bring about peace in there.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong here. I honestly think Trump is good faith trying to shut the war down because, like he said over and over and over again, I want to stop the people dying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's very sad. I mean, I'm not a fan of Zelensky. Actually, I can't stand his ass.
yeah,
But, you know, the people of Ukraine are victims. They're victims of being under a like Zelensky's almost like a tyrant, you know? He's personally motivated. I don't think he's thinking of the well-being of Ukrainians. And so I feel like they're just victims and maybe they have nowhere else to go, you know, where they could just leave. So I truly
yeah.
feel sorry for them. They're just caught in the middle. They're just innocent bystanders. So having 12 people killed is really heartbreaking. And, you know, we never want loss of life. And I just hope they can get this sorted out so that nobody else has to die.
That's where I am. And I think, I mean, all over the world, you see this stuff breaking out. You still have issues with Israel and Gaza. You, last night we covered the conflict with Pakistan and India, which, I mean, those two countries are always at war. I mean, they're always fighting. There's always an active battlefield somewhere between those two countries.
Yeah.
No one really ever talks about it, I guess, you know, because it's kind of one of those water is wet stories, you know. India's fighting Pakistan again. The only problem with India and Pakistan, if you ignore that particular water is wet story, those are both nuclear powers. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of doom and gloom tonight. I apologize, man.
No, I mean, I think also, and I really hate the idea of, you know, like racism, blah, blah. But if you think about it, maybe it's not being discussed because they're brown. You know, it's like they don't care about that. It's so far away. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know. I just think that those kind of world news like really don't make it. Like even in Africa where, you know, Christian missionaries are killed, or this whole situation with white people being killed in Africa, it doesn't get a whole lot of coverage, and I think it's because they're more brown countries and people just really don't
yeah,
care, you know. So they keep it out of the media because not a whole lot of people are going to read that. Oh, there's a war going on in India and Pakistan. Like, how does that affect me? I don't care. I mean, I think China's more relevant. People care more about China just because we do so much business with them. Oh, is
yeah,
my Temu order gonna get delayed? You know, but we don't order that much stuff. At least that we notice. But like, you know, a lot of our furniture manufacturing and stuff happens in Pakistan.
yeah.
So you know, there is a lot of things where it could affect us, but just people aren't just not aware of it, of what an impact that has on us. So I think it's always a good thing to kind of keep tabs on what's going on in the world, even though it's not like, you know, we don't have to focus all our attention on it, but it's good to know what's going on in the world. It will affect us at some point. So
Everyone has limited bandwidth, right? And
yeah.
there's only so much crap, almost said a bad word, you can process at a time, you know. And, you know, if, I mean, yeah, if you dwell on it too much, the bad stuff, yeah, it'll get you down. But we have a little bit of a palate cleanser here, though.
Yeah. Let's do
Just a
it.
little quick 34-second video. Apparently, you know, nationwide, if you're an insurance company, you know, they sell pet insurance. So you can get Fido or Mr. Whiskers or whatever you call your cat insured. Well, they keep track of the pets' names that they insure, and they've released a list of weird pet names or humorous pet names. So this is a short 34-second video, and I'm going to play it before the interwebs me and makes this an unworkable link.
Yep.
Speaking of checking things out, check this out. Nationwide Insurance Group crowning the wackiest pet names of the year. The company looked at names of more than, get this, 200,000 insured pets. The top dog name, American Cheese, beat out Luke Skywalker and Barker and Ozzy Osbourne. The quirkiest cat name is Wendy's 4 for $4. The cat's named after the fast food meal. And
my.
Ferret. The ferret's name was Ferret Bueller.
Ferret Bueller.
He needs a day off.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Hold on. Sorry, trying to present and host at the same time. I've got distractions going on.
Oh, it's all right.
Skyborker, come on, that didn't win. How did that not win? I mean, come on, Nationwide. I mean, who's voting over there? I mean,
I don't know.
oh, lordy. All right. We are on time, maybe ahead of time tonight. Yeah, we're ahead of time tonight. It's a slow news day, y'all. Not much going on, so I'm just gonna. You want a weird image to try to caption? I'm gonna refuse myself because I fed the AI the prompt that generated this. So hopefully we got some folks in the audience that can figure this out. So go ahead, caption this one, y'all.
Oh boy. Oh, why is that giving me like Wile E. Coyote vibes?
Because
that's what you put in the prompt. Okay.
Yes.
Is that supposed to be a Roadrunner, the car?
Exactly.
Okay.
You are pecking up what I'm stepping in, and I'm going to take that as an excuse. Go ahead and drive a second because I have to step away.
Yeah, go right ahead. Okay, so let's see. Let's see this image real quick. I wonder if I can open it. Okay. I'm trying to see what the logo is on the front of the car. I was trying to see if it said Roadrunner, but I don't think it quite says that. It's, how could you put it? It's AI speak, when the AI just kind of turns all the words into just mumbo jumbo. But this is pretty cool. I'm wondering where the anvil is, or like the road signs that says like detour, or where's the trick in this? Maybe it's the person driving. All right, so let's see. Let's see who's here. Come on, y'all. You got to step up and come and help me do this, caption this. I'm thinking... I'm thinking the coyote needs that flying suit from that one episode. Got all that dust. Oh man, what is a good caption for this? So let's see.
Are you telling me no one's commenting on this?
Mm-mm. I guess it's just a slow day.
night. Yeah. Okay, so just to generate discussion, for the benefit of the audience, the prompt that I used to generate this image was, create an image of a Coyote X race car chasing a 1972 Plymouth Roadrunner.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, because I looked at the image, and the outline, and I was trying to zoom in on the logo in the front, and it almost looks like it says Roadrunner, but it doesn't. Unless maybe that's the way that the logo is, but it looks like how AI distorts words. I mean, it's pretty close, but I don't think it's actual words. And so,
and the classic Roadrunner car would have a giant spoiler on the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just like,
And there is such a thing as a Coyote X race car. Go ahead and Google it. If you ever watched the 80s TV show Hardcastle and McCormick, that was McCormick's car. It was a Coyote X. So, really? No one's going to attempt to caption this.
I mean, that is a very cool looking car.
It is. It's not a bad looking image either.
No.
Not what I tried 3 different AIs to get an image for using that prompt. This was the best one. So,
So is that what the Plymouth Roadrunner looks like, though? Like the front of it?
Pretty close, actually.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that previewed this one said it looked more like a Challenger from that area.
Yeah, because that's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It looks.
I told the AI specifically a 72 Plymouth Roadrunner. Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, this needs like the trick, like the anvil or the sign that says detour or something. I was like, where's the trick? And I'm like, maybe the trick is the driver. Oh. So I don't know.
I think it's funny though that the AI did give the car, the Roadrunner coloring, from the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of neat. Well, dang it. This is the first time a Caption This is completely, totally flopped.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're not. There's no point in leaving it up there if no one's going to play.
Yeah, because I don't even know what to come up for it. I just keep thinking of like the old Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote's cartoons, and what was it? Was it? It's part of Looney Tunes. Okay.
Lynch Mob says, "Hey Lynch, if you got a caption, please submit one." Go ahead, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this image is kind of giving me. Have you ever seen a movie called Vanishing Point? It was originally like a 70s made-for-TV movie, and then it was re-released in the early aughts. And it was about a guy that was paid he had to drive a specific car from the East Coast to the West Coast in a certain amount of time. It's almost like Smokey and the Bandit with a very dark turn. This guy's like suicidal, whatever. And then, anyway, it becomes a chase movie at the end. The driver is like a kind of a Christ figure. There's a narrator. I watched this movie in a freaking college humanities class. So
Huh. No, I have not seen this. And when I pulled it up, it was with Viggo Mortensen too.
that
And
was the
Jason.
early aughts remake.
Okay, so then there's another one. Let's see. Okay, yes, the original was in 1971.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one. And then the remake was in, when was this? I think it said 1997.
Okay, 90s, late 90s, early aughts. Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
Hey, Lynch. Guess what?
Steve McQueen.
Question mark. That's a great caption, sir. Only one we got, so, and we're going to leave the question mark in. So Steve McQueen, question mark.
Let's see.
Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense, I guess. I don't know. What do you think about this week? I know you know you missed Tuesday night. You're doing great. I mean, this Pope story has kind of dominated the news. I am so sorry. I keep burping.
It's okay. I just don't think there's been all that much cycling. It's a lot of the same, like a lot of the same stuff that's kind of being regurgitated because there's not much, right? I mean, clearly, like on X, I still keep seeing the same thing, right? Like
Right.
Epstein, arrest everybody, deport everybody. I still see so much on Abrego Garcia. But I think the left is finally kind of starting to get that they're dying on the wrong hill.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that's really good. I posted a video earlier where they were interviewing one of the gang members in prison, and he was saying you don't get these tattoos unless you've murdered somebody.
Right.
So I don't think that like average middle Americans and you know, upper class Americans truly understand how gangs work. So when I was younger, I had a friend and her brother was part of a pretty big gang, and he had specific tattoos on his body, and they were like Aztec focused tattoos where it was like shin shields, certain pieces. I don't know if it was supposed to be like shield kind of tattoos, like armor. And he was saying like I wouldn't be allowed to have this tattoo if I hadn't done this in return. Like if it was something that was well known in his particular gang or in his community that he had done these certain actions to deserve these tattoos. They would take you getting a tattoo of such thing as almost like stolen valor with the military. So you just don't get these tattoos. Even like someone like me, right? I'm just some vanilla like girl next door housewife, you know. If I went and wanted like a big old Aztec piece, there's certain things that I cannot get tattooed on my body because I'm not a gang member, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, I just don't think people are thinking that they're attacking tattoos just in general. These are not normal tattoos. These are prison tattoos. These are gang related tattoos. They're not just like the flowers that you had drawn on or your sleeve with the clouds and the trees and shit, you know? It's very, very, very different. So I just think people need to not focus on like these little trigger words that, oh, they're tattoos. No, they're not just tattoos. Oh, he's just an average man. No, he's not just an average man, you know? So I don't know. I just feel like a lot of this stuff is still just being circulated and maybe we are going to have another slow news week, but I'm sure we could still find ways to talk shit about it.
Oh, no doubt. And everyone, it's just been quietly hanging out there. I've been kind of rehearsing this. There's a QR code. I'm pointing in the right direction. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
If you your mobile device and you scan that QR code, that's going to take you. And I don't have the website pulled up for quick access. That will take you to the Rise of Middle America website. You'll find links where you'll see facsimiles of all the folks around here that make this deal work. Links to previous episodes from the other shows on the Roman Nation Network. We have nightly, we have the Sunset Rants, we have the flagship show on the weekend, the Roman Nation, Rise of Middle America show. We have our true crime show with Facts and Sass. That's a weekly. We have our news show, pop culture show, drive-in. You don't want to miss any of those. So this is where it's happening. You know, like I said, check that QR code up there in the corner and give us a like, follow, subscribe, all of that good stuff.
absolutely.
In any case, I really don't have much else. I have been on camera way more times this week than I ever like to be on camera. My across the bear.
Oh, but you're so beautiful.
Oh, I am.
You're gonna make me laugh though.
Anywho, hey, you can. I'm pretty sure I have it here now. You can follow me if you want. That's my handle over on X. Or also, at Get Off My Lawn. I go by that. I prefer that. Let's see. I know I have yours here too. Come on. Where is Cynical Latina at? Here we go. Tell us about your handle, ma'am.
Well, you can find me on X and only X at Cynical Latina. And I just like to troll and have fun on there when I get, time and love just reading and interacting and just bullshitting. So come and give me a follow. Interact with me.
Don't worry about clicking on links she shares. They're safe.
They are. They're mostly.
I can verify.
Maybe.
They won't mess up your timeline too much.
I can't promise anything.
They won't mess it up too much.
Just a little.
Anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in, y'all. There may or may not be an episode of FFO Friday in this time slot tonight. The producer, star, writer, head bottle washer for that show he's really busy, with his other life. So anyway, hopefully we can get a FAFO Friday tomorrow night. If not, there will be a version of Sunset Rants on Monday night with Elizabeth and Valley Girl, and of course a new episode of Rise of Middle America Saturday night at 9:00 on all the places, Rumble, X, and YouTube. So love y'all. Catch you next time.
Have a good night, y'all.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.